ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ, ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಸುದರ್ಶನ್ ಬಾಬು.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ, ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಸಂದೀಪ್ ಸದಾಶಿವ್. ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮ್ಮ ನವೋದಯ ಕನ್ನಡ ಕೂಟದ ಯುವಕರು ಹಾಗೂ ಯುವತಿಯರ ಚರ್ಚಾ ಸ್ಪರ್ಧೆಗೆ ಸುಸ್ವಾಗತ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ಸ್. ಇವತ್ತು ಇಷ್ಟು ಒಳ್ಳೆ ಸಂಡೇ ಈವ್ನಿಂಗ್ ನೀವೆಲ್ಲ ನಮ್ಮ ಯೂತ್ಸ್ ಅನ್ನ ಸಪೋರ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡೋಕ್ಕೆ ಜಾಯಿನ್ ಮಾಡಿರೋದಕ್ಕೆ ತುಂಬಾ ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು, ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು. Without any delay, we will start our youth debate event, the fourth in our series. ಶುರು ಮಾಡೋದ?
ಶುರು ಮಾಡೋಣ.
ಓಕೆ. ಮೊದಲಿಗೆ ನಾನು ನಮ್ಮ ಜಡ್ಜಸ್ ಹೂ ಆರ್ ವಾಲಂಟಿಯರ್ಡ್ ಫಾರ್ ದ ಡಿಬೇಟ್ ಅವರನ್ನ ಇನ್ವೈಟ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ. Anup Bhatt, he is a PhD student at Carnegie Mellon, and he enjoys reading and also is talented with his piano skills. And thank you, Anup, for taking time out and namma ee debate game constantly providing the support. Thanks and welcome. Next, namma debate in a senior, most experienced in terms of supporting all the youth activities, Kannada activities in the region and beyond Pennsylvania region. In high schools, not only Kannada Kuta Sanghagalali, but even outside in high school science fair agli, athwa bere seva and other associations ali, we have Beam Bhatt, whom we all fondly and lovingly refer to as Beemarna. He's been constant support nam NKK, and if I continue to read his volunteer activities and commitments to the society, to the region, it'll take a long time. So I will spare that and welcome Beemarna once again. Thank you. Tumba ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳು for supporting ನಮ್ಮ youth and ನಮ್ಮ association.
ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ನಿಮಗೆಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತೇ ಇರ್ತಾರೆ ಇವರು ವಿನಯ್ ರಾವ್. He has done a lot of things for NKK in general, and his profile looks fantastic. So at work, he's a VP of Trading Systems Development in Miami Stock Exchange. He's also president of VHEHOA, vice president of NKK, and president of Golden Sun Realty Real Estate Business in India and USA. He also arranges concerts in the region and supply artists to several Kannada quotas in the region. He says that his career is all about collaboration and spirited discussions, which sometimes dip into the political end of the pool. As for debating skills concerned, they have been finely honed for over 25 years, courtesy of his light-hearted banter and loving disputes with his wife. Admittedly, with a few more losses than wins. He claims that these good-natured home debates have equipped him with a unique flair for judging the intricacies of any debate. He wishes well for all the youth here that are going to be participating in the debates shortly. Next up, Rashmi Sagaram, I think. Rashmi Sagaram. She works in healthcare and research strategy at Children's Hospital of Philadelphia. In her free time, she enjoys traveling, running, and spending time with family and friends. She is excited to be returning as a judge for the NKK debate for the third time. Thank you for that. And is especially looking forward to hearing the participants' approach to the parliamentary style of debate this year. Next up, Pratap Kondancha. Pratap is a Kunda Kannadiga from Kambada Kone near Kundapur of Udupi district in Karnataka. Pratap is a software engineer by profession and currently working as a director of strategic customer engagement with SAP America. On a personal front, he is married to Rashmi, a proud father of two young daughters, Pragati and Dviti. Pratap enjoys traveling, reading, writing articles and poems. Pratap is also volunteering with Philadelphia Kannada Shale and active participant of NKK activities. Thank you. Thank you all the judges for your participation here today.
Yeah, Pratap ನಮ್ಮ ಕನ್ನಡ ಶಾಲೆಯಲ್ಲೂ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. He's a teacher teaching the youth to be youths. And um, that's another commitment as well. And thank you, Anup, and all the judges once again. And yeah, as just as excited are you, we are also very excited to present our youths. So I just wanted to let our audience know about the Isatido debate event and the topic and also the style. So Isati ನಾವು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ different approach ತಗೊಂಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. You can always go back to our previous recordings in the YouTube and see our participation. But ಈ ಸತಿ we are doing a parliamentary style debate. Andre, it is like an argument between the ruling and the opposition government. And topics, as you know, in the house or anywhere can suddenly pop up anywhere, anytime, and they need to be equipped to sort of try to um, support their motion or refute it. And so Nama youths were very sportive Isati. They were ready to take it, and with minimal time, they have to be working on the spot. Just today, now the toss hockey, they had to decide whether they were going to be the ruling government or the opposition government. And the topic was the ruling government is proposing to ban all animal experiments. So it's not an easy topic. And they just came to know 2 hours, 3 hours ago. And they are keen to present their persuasive skills. So presidential, not presidential, but parliamentary, sorry, presidential debate is yet to come, and I don't want to bring that controversy here. But parliamentary debate is all about persuasion skill and the presence of mind, and it prepares them to be able to confidently talk um, in front of other people, in front of crowds, and know a right way to present their opinion. Again, I also want to make a disclaimer that all these youths, they may have their own opinion about this topic, but they are forced to talk about it today. So this doesn't mean that they stand for banning or for continuing. All they're doing today is trying to persuade our audience, persuade our judges for the day, for the moment about the topic. So everybody, keep an open mind. You may have your own personal opinions about it, but this is just for the moment, just for the hour, for us all to enjoy this style of debate. Yeah. Any other comments, Sudarshan?
No,
Yeah.
I mean, as Sandeep said, youth got only few days time to prepare, and they didn't know like 2 hours ago, until 2 hours ago, whether they are going to debate for or against the topic, right? So
yeah, very challenging.
very
and
challenging. Let us see.
Yeah.
Wish everybody best of luck, and I'm sure they have prepared very well, and they are excited to, step on the stage now.
Yeah, we have some sibling rivalry here. We have some good competitions here. And audience, please, ನೀವು ಯೂಟ್ಯೂಬ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ರೆ, please comment, please ask questions, please encourage them. And those of you who were not able to participate but want to, we are always welcome, and there is always another time. Without much delay, we will now take on the youths.
Yeah, so there will be opportunity for judges as well to ask
Correct,
questions at
correct.
the end. And along with judges, like there will be opportunity for audience. So audience, please post your questions on YouTube channel. We will be monitoring, and we are going to ask those questions at the end.
Yeah, we'll surely address them. So Nivo, if you feel that why are we not, we have a time slot allocated for that. So our timely, we will pass on the comments, the questions, and yeah. So first, we will move on with the style of the debate. So initially, the ruling government will come, and followed by the opposition leader. And our the Ibradu Matadmele, we will have the rebuttal phase. So I would invite the ruling government speaker, the Mr. President or Mrs. President. In this instance, we have a Mrs. President here. So coming here to talk and introduce the topic. So kudos to NKK to have a female presence of Mrs. President or Miss President. I
Miss
don't know.
President, Miss President.
Miss President. Okay. Yes, yes. Here it is, Miss President. Yes. Yes.
Okay.
Wow, they have some props as well, but yeah. Okay. Support their props.
ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ. ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಸಚಿತಾ. ನಾವು ಇವತ್ತು ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳನ್ನು ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಉಪಯೋಗಿಸುವ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡುತ್ತೇವೆ. Animal testing, which refers to the procedures that are performed on animals for research purposes, is prevalent throughout the world. These occur in fields from biotechnology all the way to cosmetics. Many of these products are on our shelves today, with some products being essential as they aid humans that are fighting diseases. But what's not spoken about is what happens behind the scene. What happens to the animals that are tested. So as you can see over here, you can see a test of the animals that are tested. These animals are maimed, and for the worst thing that the animal can experience, it is death. ಸೊ ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳನ್ನು ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆಯು ಸಂವೇದನಶೀಲ ಜೀವಿಗಳ ಚಿಕಿತ್ಸೆಗೆ ಸಂಬಂಧಿಸಿದಂತೆ ಮಹತ್ವದ ನೈತಿಕ ಕಾಳಜಿಯನ್ನು ಹುಟ್ಟುಹಾಕುತ್ತದೆ. Animal testing raises momentous ethical concerns regarding the treatment of these sentient beings. The statistics from the National Institute of Health are staggering. Up to 100 million of animals are used annually in the United States alone, many enduring immense pain and distress. But this isn't the only thing. It's a global issue. In India, approximately 2.7 million animals are subjected to experiments each year. These numbers underscore the magnitude of this issue, showing us that millions of animals have to suffer and die for human purposes. As Temple Grandin once said, animals make us human, but they shouldn't have to suffer for the products that we intend to use. We must consider the ethical concerns raised by such practices, treating such beings with compassion and respect. It's also undeniable that animal testing has a high rate of failure, predicting human outcomes in the drug development. There are species differences in anatomy, physiology, and metabolism, so it can't be accurately matched. However, there are ways around these issues. Alternative methods such as cells and tissues in cell cultures, 3D tissue, also known as organs on a chip, computational and mathematical testing, clinical testing are some, to name a few. With computational and mathematical testing, AI is being used. It's able to use prior data to accurately predict the outcome of the test without using animals. Alternative methods are more cost-effective and more sustainable as well. According to Humane Society International, in a 2-year experiment for phototoxicity, using animal testing cost $11,500, with the alternative method costing only $1,300. There's a significant difference in the cost of both of these trials. Alternative methods also open up new jobs, some of which are specialized, and this boosts the economy. Just as R. Madhavan said, animals feel pain just as people do. They value their lives just as we value ours. This leads us to the overarching question. If 45 countries can ban animal testing in some form, why can't we ban it completely?
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಗೌರಿ ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳ ಪರೀಕ್ಷೆಗೆ ಅವಕಾಶ ನೀಡಬೇಕು Animal testing should be allowed because there are numerous benefits for both humans and animals. It has been proven to cure many diseases and fight against others, such as Parkinson's, diabetes, and polio. One specific example about the use of animal testing has been with cancer research. The drug tamoxifen was used with breast cancer treatment was developed with animal testing. The early research on mice helped scientists find a way to produce larger amounts needed for human patients. Animal testing can be beneficial for animals as well. Humans and animals share numerous genes, and the fact is 4,000 studied genes, mice and humans have a 90% overlap. This means that diseases that affect humans also affect mice as well. So by experimenting on mice or other animals, humans and animals could benefit. This could save many endangered species as well. A recent example of animal testing's impact is with the COVID-19 pandemic. During COVID, a vaccine was needed as early as possible, and so mice were treated and tested on. And now 12 billion doses of that vaccine were exported worldwide. The use of animal testing played a major role in saving as many lives as possible, as quickly as possible. In Indian mythology, an elephant gave his life to save Ganesha. This animal sacrificed his life for the greater good of the world. In this way, animal testing is for the greater good and therefore should be allowed.
Thank you, Sachita, and thank you, opposition leader Gauri. So this was the opening statements. Tumba strong agi, tumba effective agi, ಇಬ್ರು ಅವರ ವ್ಯೂ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ನಮಗೆ ರೀಚ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ನಾನು ಕೇಳಿ ಯಾವ ಕಡೆ ಟಿಲ್ಟ್ ಆಗಲಿ ಅಂತ ಐ ಆಮ್ ನಾಟ್ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು decide yet. So let's see how the future speakers will tilt us. So the next round is the rebuttal round where each team members will start arguing out points from the other team. So we will have representatives from the ruling government, and we'll have two representatives from the opposition government alternating and presenting their views. So please keep typing messages and support, and I will call upon the ruling government representative first to start the rebuttal round, and I see them coming by, getting ready. Okay. Don't come. Use either.
Good afternoon, everyone. Nanna ಹೆಸರು ವರುಣ್. ಭಾರತದ ಸಂಸ್ಕೃತ ಮಾಲುಗಳು ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳ ಮೇಲಿನ ಸಹಾನುಭೂತಿಯನ್ನು ಒತ್ತಿರುವೆ. ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳ ಮೇಲಿನ ಕ್ರೂರತೆ, ಗಾಯದ ದನಹ ಶಾಸನದಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರತಿಫಲಿಸುತ್ತದೆ. Approximately 2.7 million animals are subjected to experimentation annually in India. Just to show you the scale of animal testing practices and let alone the ethical concerns associated with them. Andrew Wheeler, an administrator of the EPA, once said, "We can protect human health and the environment by using cutting-edge, ethically sound science in our decision-making that efficiently and cost-effectively evaluates potential effects without animal testing." And now towards the global trend for alternatives. Countries in the EU have implemented bans on cosmetic testing on animals. This indicates a global shift towards more humane research practices. And over 40 countries worldwide have either banned or significantly restricted cosmetic testing on animals, highlighting the global momentum towards ethical and effective research methodologies. Next is the public health impact. Concerns about the safety of these products tested on animals and the emergence of zoonotic diseases necessitate reconsidering the reliance on these outdated methods. And embracing alternative approaches can safeguard public health more effectively while upholding India's commitment to animal welfare and reducing the risk of adverse health outcomes for its citizens. Scientific advancements would, these animal testings, all of these animal testings can cause pain, suffering, and lasting harm to animals. It can include injecting or force feeding animals with potentially harmful substances, surgically removing animals' organs or tissues, forcing these animals to inhale toxic gases, subjecting animals to frightening situations which they do not understand. And some experiments even require for the animal to die. Utilizing alternatives such as computational models and organoids could foster scientific progress in India's research institutions, potentially reducing the reliance on animal testing methods. And now the economic viability. Adopting alternative methods could streamline research process, potentially reducing costs associated with animal procurement, housing, and care. Estimates suggest that transitioning to these alternative methods could save millions of rupees annually, promoting efficiency and innovations within India's biotechnology and pharmaceutical sectors. Thank you.
All good? All right, perfect. Okay. ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ. ನನ್ನ ಹೆಸರು ಆರ್ನವ್. ನಾನು ನನ್ನ ಟೀಮ್ದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ರಿಬಟಲ್ ಸ್ಪೀಕರ್. ಓಕೆ, ನಾನು ಮೊದಲನೇದಾಗಿ ನಾನು ನಿಮಗೆ ಜಟಾಯುದು ಕತೆ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. So in the Ramayana, Jatayu was a vulture who was the first to spot the evil Ravana stealing Sita away, right? And so Jatayu courageously fought to stop Ravana, but in this valiant battle, Jatayu lost his wings, and this turned out to be a mortal injury. Despite this injury, Jatayu went on to find Lakshmana and relay that information that Sita has been stolen away. And so I say this with the purpose of highlighting how even in the eons old Hindu mythology, the sacrifice of animals towards the benefit of humanity, the benefit of the world, benefit of the greater good is clearly present. All right. So I would like to begin with the point that was brought up by the opposing team. So they stated that alternate methods are accurate, but in most, if not all cases, the alternate testing is not completely accurate, as shown in a paper by the National Academic Press. Studies that do not use animals can produce valuable information, agreed, but they cannot completely replace the information that animal experiments can give you. So animal testing, right? If it were to be abandoned, then medical progress would be slowed down very much so, right? The alternative methods that they propose are more time consuming and they can be more costly, especially these in vitro testing or trying to generate like models, like real cell-based models of human organs, right? This is very advanced medical technology, but it is very costly and time consuming. And this plays a really pivotal role when it comes to things such as vaccine development, right? And throughout history, in the past century with vaccines, all vaccines have underwent a stage of animal testing throughout their development. For example, with COVID, right? COVID, polio, all these very, very important vaccines that have saved millions of lives. They could all be achieved with speed, right? Speed is of critical importance when it comes to getting these vaccines out to people and saving lives. This speed was achieved through animal testing. Now, they might say that animal experiments are not reliable, right? But there are ways to make sure that animal testing is as reliable as it can be, right? So, of course, you're not going to get, perfect accuracy because you're testing on an animal for human results, right? You're not testing on a human, you're testing on an animal. They're different species. Yes. But through the use of animals that are very close in like the state of their body, how things work, such as mice and monkeys, right? Through testing on them and in combination of that research, very, very accurate models can be found. Additionally, a major point of theirs is about the pain and suffering that animals go through, right? Yes, that is horrible, but the solution does not lie in banning animal testing. There is a nuanced point that can be taken, nuanced path, and that is putting forth regulations and reform and ethical reform in the biomedical, bio-research industries that ensures that animals do not get mistreated when such painful processes have to be done, or painful research, that it is done not on animals, but using those alternate methods that they propose. There is this middle ground that can be taken that avoids banning animal research and still keeps all the best benefits that come from animal research that I've mentioned earlier. I would like to put forth a valuable bit of information found by the Pew Research Center on public opinion of animal experiments. So this survey found that while at first the majority of Americans opposed the use of animals in scientific research, their support increased when information was put forth considering the specific cases of medical testing and development of life-saving treatments. So clearly, right, the people as a whole do support animal testing in favor of saving humanity. And also, I'd like to add that animal research and animal testing, when done to better human lives, can also better the lives of other animals, right? Especially like in veterinary research. This research and this testing done on animals will go on to save lives and save sick animals. All of this can go and make animals' lives better as well as humans. What else? All right. I'll end it there. Thank you.
Hope ಎಲ್ಲರೂ enjoy ಮಾಡ್ತಿದ್ದೀರಾ. Now we are in the middle of the debate, so it is going to be the turn again of the uh, ruling government to refute these points made by the opposition government. And we are waiting for our next speaker from the ruling government to come and talk to you. This is speaker number. No, he'll be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is speaker number 5 for our judges. Please note the next two speakers are number 5 and number 6. So we have Varun Bhatt, who is speaker number 5, followed by speaker number 6, Karun Jairam.
Yeah. Okay. Yep. Nah, this is good. This is good. Namaskara, namaskara. Nanna hesaru. Arun. So, Mahatma Gandhi once said, Navu kilu, jivagala, melu, shaurya, vada baradu. Despite Despite the prevalence of animal testing, sorry about that, guys. Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. Despite the prevalence of animal testing, studies showed that it has a low value for human response, with a failure rate of approximately 92% in drug development. Utilizing alternatives such as computed models and organized, as Varun Jairam said, could foster scientific progress in India's research institutions, removing the reliance of animal testing methods. Arnav referenced that animal testing is faster in cancer research. Well, that turns out to be false. In animal testing, it takes 4 to 5 years, while on average for computer models and alternatives, it takes 2 years. Also, 97% of animals are dead by the end of research. As far as economic viability, computer models are much cheaper, and it could reduce the cost of animal housing and care. Many different global organizations also support the banning of animal testing. The European Union, United States, and Asia are all evolving to promote the use of alternative methods and restrict the banning of animal testing. Concerns about the safety of products tested on animals and the emergence of zoonotic diseases such as rabies, which is very deadly. Like animals die within 7 days, are all reconsidering the reliance on outdated testing methods, which Varun Jairam already said. The United Nations also have implemented the Sustainability Development Goals. These include helping the environment, and helping the environment also is part of banning animal testing. On the third rule of the third goal, it says good health and well-being. This essentially means that environmental species should all be protected and should be under good health so that they could live and have a prosperous future. And the 15th goal on this United Nations Sustainable Development says that the life on land is to promote life on land. This essentially means to reduce harm to animals and preserve biodiversity. And this is a step into a more sustainable future where animals can be safely treated. As Gauri said, animal testing is being used for cancer research, but in a recent study, animals are found to have a lower rate of success than CRISPR technology, which is an alternative method. CRISPR is a gene editing program, and it's been used for cancer research. Arnav also said that in the Mahabharata, animals sacrifices are used for human development. But in the same Mahabharata, it says a person should never do that to others, which he does not like to be done to him by others. It clearly does not make sense that what Arnav says, the quote he said, is being used in support for animal, in opposition for the banning of animal development. Thank you, guys.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ. ನಾನು ಕರುಣ್. I am the ಎರಡನೆಯ rebuttal speaker. First, ನಾನು ನಿಮ್ಮಿಂದ COVID in India the story ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. During the COVID pandemic, Indian biomedical research Bharat Biotech were the first in India to develop a COVID-19 vaccine called Covaxin. This was achieved only through uses within animal research. There was a total of 2.2 billion doses that were developed because of animal research. A weekly peer-reviewed journal called The Lancet states that it saved 4.2 million people from dying. India's first COVID-19 vaccine was so influential to the population of India because of its speed. The speed really helped, and that's what animal testing is really good for. Animal testing studies that do not use animals can provide valuable information, but again, bouncing off from what Arnav stated, it's not as accurate than it is with animal testing because of how similar biology is. Though as Gautam or as Varun Bhatt stated, that animal testing in the alternatives to animal testing are there, but they're not as accurate, which is a problem. They argued how the alternative methods are beneficial in areas as in creating jobs and saving costs. However, this goes around to the most purpose of these experiments. These methods are still very limited in their ability to accurately predict complex biological processes and long-term effects because of how quickly and more and accurately animal testing is able to provide vaccines and cures in some cases. It's very effective in providing good care to a lot of people at one time. Animal models that are still remaining in this stage are not as accurate when you're providing them to humans. So the opposing side mentioned again and again how animal testing is cruel and how it's not being regulated in some cases. This is false because animal testing is being regulated. There's a lot of strict laws and regulations such as the Animal Welfare Act in the United States and other similar legislation in other countries. These laws ensure proper care and oversight of animal research. The group against animal testing as a whole continues to mention the alternatives to animal testing, but once again, biology is a big part within humans and animals. You can't beat biology. Even though AI is progressing at a fast rate, it's not fast enough to beat the speed and accuracy of animal testing. All right, that is all. Thank you.
Thank you, representatives, ಎರಡು teamದು. We will now move to the third stage of the debate where there will be time for question and answers. But these question and answers are from the teams, not from the judges or the audience. So I would call upon the ruling government, 4 members, to come onto the stage. And then I would call upon one of the team members from the opposition government to also come on the stage to ask their questions. So they can start with question number 1 and give time for the team to respond to that. Um, and uh, yeah, while the team members are coming, I just want to sort of give a little trivia about some of these topics. Um, uh, in the US, there is a case called, um, let me say, it's about a story in the 1860s when a Dalmatian by the name of, what is the name of that dog? I can't recollect the name of the Pepper. So there was a Dalmatian by the name Pepper that was stolen to provide for animal experimentation from a farm local in Pennsylvania. So this was a Lakawaj family from Pennsylvania. And that is when the first time a US representative by the name Joseph Resnick initiated a bill that was formally called the Animal Welfare Act in 1966. So that is originated from a case scenario in Pennsylvania, so Nama state. So without much delay, I'll call on the opposition team. Please, one of the members be ready to ask the questions. The ruling party, if you want to come all onto the stage, please. And one of the, yeah, you here, you need to come onto the stage to ask the questions onto the mic, so the audience is able to hear.
Okay. My first question for your team. Given that animal research has been instrumental in the development of anesthetics and pain management techniques, how would you propose advancing these fields without animal testing? You want me to repeat the question? Yeah, okay. My question was, given that animal research has been instrumental in the development of anesthetics and pain management techniques, how would you propose advancing these fields without animal testing? Okay. Given that animal research has been instrumental in the development of anesthetics and pain relief or pain management techniques, how would you propose advancing these fields without the use of animal testing?
We propose that CRISPR technologies be used and Sherlock and detector as well in order to cure people of diseases as well as reduce symptoms and for anesthetics and other major problems associated with any disease.
Also, AI is progressing really, really fast, as much as we think it's progressing really slow, but it is. And that can be used with computational and mathematical models to replicate a human and test the anesthetic formulas and the pain reducing formulas on that as well. It would definitely be a slight limitation, but it would be accurate because AI is getting way more accurate now.
Like that. Oh, yes, okay. So you just mentioned AI, right? So in light of that, my second question is, if animal experiments are to be banned, how could researchers study complex biological processes that are interconnected, such as multi-organ function or aging or genetic disorders, which cannot be accurately replicated like in vitro or through computer models, but can effectively be studied through animal testing?
Arnold, repeat your question for us.
So my question was, right, in response to your statement about how AI in the future may be possibly able to replace animal testing, right, as a solution. So if animal experiments are banned, how would researchers be able to study complex biological processes that are interconnected, such as multi-organ function, aging, and genetic disorders, which can be effectively studied through animal research, but cannot be accurately replicated through in vitro like cell development or computer models?
Researchers can replicate their studies and tests done in nanotechnology using nanotechnology nanoparticles to monitor people in diseases and basically any chronic illness or any illness in general, monitoring their illness and seeing what cure they need, what they need to like improve on.
I do. That's a good question. All right. Yeah. All right. Here's a less specific question. So, is it not worth the sacrifice of a few animals to potentially save countless lives of humans and animals for all the future generations to come?
In India alone, 2.7 million animals die every year to further research studies. And globally, hundreds of millions of animals die every single year to further research.
And to go further on this, most countries don't properly document the animals that they test on and the animals that are killed. So it's a ballpark that we're saying like hundreds of millions, but it could be way more because sometimes fish and other animals are not included. And it's also like if you are going to kill many animals to do testing and for other experimentation, it's putting us over other animals, and we need to come back and think we're animals as well, and we're not like superior over anyone else. So we're all equal. I think that's it.
Well, now I call the opposition government members to come and join, and then they will be posed 3 questions by the ruling government. So if you all want to take the on this side, and then the ruling government person who's going to ask you the question is going to be on that side.
Yeah.
Okay, so the first question we have, oh, sorry. So the first question that we have for you is, can you justify the ethical implication of subjecting millions of animals to experimentation, considering the suffering and the harm that they endure?
Our response to your question about the suffering that animals go through testing sometimes, right? So this is of course horrible, yeah. Animals should not have to suffer or endure the great pain that they have gone through in animal testing, but there is solutions to this, right? First off, in regulations, right? Government laws that can set up and prevent these things from happening, right? And also like ethics boards, ethical regulation. Okay. And just setting up like, ethical standards for animal testing. Additionally, for these situations where animal testing would cause pain or suffering, we consider a sort of middle ground where, yes, animal testing is not banned, but in these cases where testing it on animals would cause suffering or harm, some of the solutions that your team proposed as alternatives can be utilized while still preserving animal testing in other fields to preserve the accuracy and speed brought forth by animal testing. That's our response.
So the next question that we have for you is, can you provide concrete steps and timelines for phasing out animal testing and transitioning into the alternative methods in the research and regulatory practices that you just mentioned?
Concrete time.
No, it's okay, concrete timeline, like-
Oh wait, just like
Okay, I can say it again. So can you provide like a rough timeline of what you would think when you're phasing out the animal testing and like transitioning into the alternative methods and the regulatory practices that come?
No? Okay, so we would like to clarify in our previous response, I think there was a slight misunderstanding that we're not trying to phase out, like slowly phase out animal testing. No, we're for animal testing. What we were suggesting in our previous response was a combination, right? So the first step is, of course, to regulate and set up an ethical standard for the treatment of animals, yes? So they will no longer be suffering or mistreated. And then when it is necessary for these biomedical research companies, to do experiments that would previously cause animals harm, they can now still they can apply this combination, right? So where experiments will not cause harm, they can be tested on animals, and then where they would cause suffering, they can be done using the CRISPR nanotechnology, computer modeling methods. And this way, this like the best of both worlds, right? So by avoiding banning animal testing, you can achieve this combination. So that is the sort of rough timeline, I guess.
Our third and final question is, how do you propose to address the limitations of animal testing while promoting innovation and progress in scientific research? How do you propose to address the limitations of animal testing while promoting innovation and progress in scientific research?
Not the question a little bit, it's a bit broad. I don't want to like keep repeating things.
So animal testing comes with many limitations, right? How do you propose to all? We're asking, do you have specific
Like
general, we're
all-
saying?
all of them.
Yeah.
So that's okay. So So our response to your question of how we would resolve and address the limitations that pure animal testing has, right? Because nothing's perfect, right? It's got its limitations. So we believe that through like pulling research and like learn derived information from all the different means of testing, that a sort of conclusive, cohesive, like single output can be found. So let me specify, right? So for example, with specifically animal testing, right? You can test on different animals, right? Such as mice, monkeys, rabbits, all these common animals that you find in the testing facilities, right? And of course, none of them are going to perfectly match the outcomes in a human. But when you test on these different animals and you put that research together, right, you get an output that is very, very accurate and can very closely mimic the results from when that product is used in a human.
I would also like to add that a combination that we specified before in your previous question can also be applied here. A combination between the computer models and animal testing can also like get rid of those limitations entirely, because animal testing is accurate, but so is, and computer models we can use to overcome the limitations you put forth by in animal testing.
Um, Excellent job by all the representatives, and these are tough questions and tough answers ಎರಡು ಕಡೆಗೂನು that are posed constantly to politicians around the globe, to researchers and scientists around the globe. And it is still difficult today to find an answer to this. So we will quickly move on to the final stage of our debate, and I would invite our final two representatives from the ruling and the opposition government. So this time it is going to be Speaker 7, who is representing the opposing government, who will come by and speak first, followed by the ruling government speaker, who will be Speaker 8. So I have Gauri, Representative Gauri, Representative Pratyusha, who will be speaking, and then followed by Representative Gautam, who is going to be concluding the debate. So it's been fun. The ISATI, we had it hybrid, so the students, youths are all together, and it is so nice to see them interact, challenge each other, work with one another. This last few minutes that they were here interacting, challenging, and answering is more rewarding than 1,000 likes. You know, it is so beautiful to see Namma youths working together. Okay, I would like to call on representative from the opposition team who is going to speak first. So it is going to be Representative Pratyusha, who is going to come onto the stage now. For the judges, it is speaker number 7 first, and then speaker number 8 in the end.
Hi, my name is Pratyusha, and as my team before said, all the reasons why animal experimentation should be implemented, I'm just going to remind you of those reasons. First of all, animal experimentation has cured many diseases and has provided cures for many diseases. Animal testing has given scientists more info on cancer research. Animal experimentation was used in many vaccines, including COVID-19 vaccines, which have saved millions of lives, not only in America, but also in India. I would like to point out how the other team was mentioning benefits of alternate methods, but most of their benefits were only cost, giving more jobs to people, and nothing that actually benefits humans. How accurate could their artificial intelligence be instead of the animal experimentation that has been used for centuries? And also the data that they're getting for the artificial information is the data that has been used or the data that has been gotten from animal experimentation in the past. India passed an act in 1960, Prevention of Animal Cruelty Act. Animal experimentation is still used in India to this day because it's a vital part of science and a vital part to find cures of diseases. Animal experimentation ನಿಮ್ಮನ್ನು ಕಾಪಾಡುತ್ತೆ ಮತ್ತು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಮಕ್ಕಳನ್ನು ಕಾಪಾಡುತ್ತೆ. Thank you.
Thank you for that closure by the opposition party. So now I call upon the speaker of the ruling government to please come on to the dais to present your closing statements. while we are waiting for the final speaker, some more trivia and interesting facts that India, British was one of the first countries to have some acts passed, like in 1876. 1876, where they had the Cruelty to Animals Act. And then India had it in 1960. And then the Animal Welfare Act in US came after the incidents from Pennsylvania in 1966. So I do need the speaker from the ruling government to kindly come onto the stage and be the concluding speaker. After this, there will be question and answers from the judges and any audience questions. So please continue to interact and ask questions and encourage our youth in their efforts.
ಮಹಾತ್ಮ ಗಾಂಧಿ ಅವರು ಹೇಳಿದಂತೆ ಒಂದು ದೇಶದ ಮಹತ್ವವನ್ನು ದೇಶದ ಮೂಕ ಪ್ರಾಣಿಗಳನ್ನು ನೋಡಿದಂತೆ ರೀತಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ತಲಿಬಹುದು. Overall, animal testing presents many issues in medical predictability and animal welfare. Groundbreaking studies have showcased the efficiency of innovative alternatives to animal testing, such as human-derived stem cell models, organoids, and computational modeling. For instance, a recent study published in Nature Biotechnology demonstrates that organoids derived from human cells accurately represented the response of human intestinal tissue to bring drug compounds, outperforming traditional animal models in predicting drug toxicity and efficiency. Another study conducted by researchers at Johns Hopkins University utilized machine learning algorithms to predict human responses to drugs with unprecedented accuracy. By analyzing large sets of data of genetic and molecular information, the model achieved a predictive accuracy of over 90%, surpassing the performance of animal-based tests. This leads us to believe that other methods can be employed rather than using cruel ones. Along with that, animal testing presents many issues in the environmental sector. Animal testing incurs a significant environmental toll, including the consumption of resources for animal husbandry, waste generation, and carbon emissions associated with transportation and laboratory operations. A recent meta-analysis published in Environmental Science and Technology estimated that animal researchers facilities contribute up to 5% of global greenhouse emissions. However, the transitioning to animal-free research methodologies offers an environmental benefits. Technology innovations. Rapid advancements in technology such as microfluids, organs-on-chip platforms, and high-output screening has revolutionized the landscape of biomedical research. A study published in the Science Translational Medicine demonstrated the utility of on-chip technology in modeling the blood-brain barrier and predicting drug permeability, offering a more accurate representation of human physiology compared to animal models. Additionally, a recent review article in Trends of Physiological Sciences highlighted the potential of high throughput screening platforms using human cell-based assays to rapidly identify drug candidates. Internationally, there's a growing momentum towards stricter regulations for animal testing, spurred by ethical considerations, scientific advancements, and public outcry. For example, the European Union recently adopted REACH, Registration, Evaluation, Authorization, and Restriction of Chemicals, regulation which mandates the use of alternative methods and prioritizes the replacement of animal tests for chemical safety assessments. Similarly, countries like India and Israel have implemented bans and restrictions on cosmetic testing by animals, signaling a broader shift towards cruelty-free research practices. A quote by Swami Vivekananda: "In every man and in every animal, however weak or wicked, great or small, resides the omnipresent, omniscient soul. The difference is not in the soul, but in the manifestation between me and the smallest animal. The difference is only in the manifestation, but as the principle, he is the same as I am. He is my brother. He has the same soul as I have. This is the greatest principle that India has preached." Companies are usually required to spend years putting animals through the agony of new product testing before human clinical trials are allowed to begin, even though those tests won't accurately predict whether a drug will work in humans. NIH itself reports that 95 out of every 100 new drugs that test safe and efficient in animals fails in humans. To reiterate, animal testing in most instances takes a longer time to perform, 4 to 5 years for cancer research in animals, and at least 2 years and 11,500 for animals, while 1,300 for any other method. 97% killed in implementation and 6,286 returned to habitats. Thank you.
A huge round of applause to all the debate participants. And I would now call upon Sudarshan and the judges to sort of take a moment to see if you have any questions for our youths. And I call all the youths to please come on to the podium, to the stage, and come onto the side. Yeah, you can leave it. Yeah, there. Please come by the side. Don't come across. Come from one side. Yeah. Thank you. Yeah. All right.
I think we're good.
Everyone's there? Perfect.
Judges, please ask any questions you may have to either of the teams, please.
I can ask a question to the ruling team. So, first of all, great job to both of the teams. I think you expressed a lot of your arguments in a really wonderful way. I feel like so much of the topic of the debate was centered around biomedical research. So I was curious with regards to like some of the other places where animal testing is used in terms of like consumer products or things like cosmetics. I feel like it was brought up a couple of times. How do you think about implementing like a ban in those types of industries? Because maybe some of those like alternative methodologies like AI, CRISPR, nanoparticles, organoids may not be as applicable. And oftentimes within consumer products, the primary endpoint is safety. So I was curious if like that had also come up in terms of if this is going to be a widespread ban with regards to like other industries outside of biomedical research.
Sorry, just to clarify, which is it a question for both parties to just discuss and answer, or is this for a particular party? We're the pro animal experiments, they are the anti animal experiments.
Yeah, so this is for the folks who are proposing to ban animal experiments. So more like targeted toward them, but if either of you want to answer, feel free.
While they're talking, we'll put forth our thoughts on the matter. So, as we stated earlier, we believe that banning animal testing outright is not the correct approach, and we strongly believe in taking a more nuanced, like case-by-case applicable sort of approach. And so this is perfect, right? So in biomed research, animal testing has all these like you can't get this sort of accuracy, this sort of applicable research through the other means, right? But in a field such as cosmetics, right, the like cell modeling, CRISPR, all these other things can be a viable means of sort of resolving the issue.
Yeah, it's a good in the cosmetic industry, animal testing does not have to be used. It could be used, the cell plates or whatever could also be used. All right, that's our take on the argument.
So to answer your question, we would like use skin grafts, like just making skin out of like stem cells and stuff, and then testing everything on those therefore skin and tissue cells. And then that would give you your straight to the point human cells, which you could then test in an actual human if those trials go well.
And an alternative method for that could also be human trials. So obviously the person would sign up, so they would know the consequences if something did go wrong. And that would be the more accurate way to do it, because then we can see how the cosmetics would work on, and everything else would work on humans.
Thank you.
I have one question, maybe a couple of questions. I'll ask one at a time. First, for the ruling party. So you're for banning animal testing, correct? Okay. So are you saying that you want to completely and immediately ban all sorts of animal testing?
So we understand that animal testing can't be eliminated in one day. It takes a long time. It takes years, in fact. So what we propose on doing is over the next 25, 30 years, we slowly trickle it down. So step by step, year by year, we slowly implement more human trials, more CRISPR, more nanotech into the company so that they gradually get used to it. But they still have animal testing because they're not used to all these new technologies. So as the years go by, they'll get more used to them, and then they won't have to rely on animal testing.
This also gives companies more time to prepare to go completely into the alternatives. And I know we said 10 to like 30 years, but ideally if things didn't go wrong, it could be done in 10 to 15 years, which would be much shorter and much easier for the companies to do if they're able to do it.
Okay, one follow-up question. What if within the timeline, if nobody develops alternate methods for carrying out the medical research or cosmetic research or any other research that they want to do? What's your proposal?
To say your point, there is already alternative ways to do these cosmetic and all these other things that you have said. All the companies need to do is, if they already have the funding, is to just expand on it.
And there isn't that much of a problem in the funding. There might be a little bit while starting up, but overall it is much cheaper to do our alternatives when compared to animal testing, because it's more time consuming and more to take care of the animals.
Okay, thank you. Now for the other team who are opposing the ban. My question to you is, are you do you want the companies or the government want to continue to experiment on animals? Are you open to using alternate methods? And over time, is it acceptable for you to completely ban animals, assuming that the innovations and alternate methods catch up, and with that you will be able to not use any animals for these kind of researches?
Right, absolutely. So as we were saying in a couple other arguments beforehand, we are not for completely just animal testing. We're for a good mixture, a good combination of the two, because we understand that animal testing in its entirety is not the way to go in the future. We want a combination of animal testing mixed with AI, because that'll provide the best response in humans to different medications and stuff like that.
Okay, one follow-up question. So what's in the proposal that the ruling party is putting forward that you are objecting to?
Wait, sorry, could you repeat the question?
Yeah, so ruling party has put forward a proposal to ban animal testing, right? They also said that it's not immediate and complete, right? It's over time, it's gradual, right? So what is your objection to their proposal? What is one objection that you raise that you don't agree with?
All right. So the in response to the other teams point that they had made about the future and shifting away, and their point of shifting away from animal testing throughout the future, right? So the future is unpredictable, right? We don't know what could happen. There could be huge steps taken in all these alternate methods that might make it easier to incorporate them. But that being said, there are other problems that could arise in the future as well. And I'd like to bring up COVID-19, right? This is now, it's been 4 years, but it's still fairly recent, right? And when it came up, right, all these companies started scrambling, all these groups, all these research teams started scrambling to try and develop a vaccine as quickly as possible to start saving lives. And so this is very contemporary, right? And this is where, as we had mentioned in some of our arguments, animal testing did play a very pivotal role in trying to create these vaccines as quickly as possible and make sure that they are totally safe and can effectively combat the COVID-19 disease. So the future is very unpredictable, and it really, like, the situation, different situations can change. But yeah, overall, we like to keep the prospect of animal testing as an effective means of solving problems that might come up in the future.
Okay, thank you.
Could I just add something to that? So I know you said COVID-19 was like a huge problem, and I agree. There was a lot of scramble to do it, and animal testing was the best method at the time. But it's also been 4 years, and we've come a long way since then. So I think in the future, if something like COVID would ever happen again, we would be way more equipped to use the alternative methods than the animal testing methods. I think we used it then because that was the thing that we knew best. And it would be a different change in the future.
And so the argument continues. If audience ಏನಾದ್ರು questions ಇಲ್ಲ andre, then I will ask all the youths who were an excellent representation of ನಮ್ಮ NKK community to move along. ಏನಾದ್ರು final questions? If not, they will come back for your feedback later.
Sandeep, I have one question.
Yes, Pratap. Yes.
I think both sides, the supporting side, the supporting motion as well as the opposing motion side, were talking about COVID, and the topic being the animal testing. And there is also, I think there is also a part of the source of COVID itself is COVID itself originated from the animal testing. How do you see that aspect on banning or to go ahead with it?
Pratap, you bring up a very good point, Ali, and I think that opens up a whole different argument again, and probably we should have that on our next debate topic. In view of the time and the controversy about the origins of COVID, I would like to call an end to this wonderful debate where both teams performed excellent, and
Yeah, I have one question from audience,
Okay,
if that's okay.
we'll squeeze in one question from the audience.
Okay, thank you. So this is a question for the team arguing against animal testing. How do you propose to convince a human to take medications without it tested on animals? Is there a human who is willing to be the sacrificial lamb? This question is from Aparna Sandeep, by the way.
Okay, so to answer your question, we can provide our testing samples from the computational methods, from the skin grafts, and the cell cultures and everything that we do beforehand. And we can also provide a money incentive, which might help more people sign up for clinical trials. It's already being done, and I think if all of that information is provided before, it would be it would still it would convince the human to perform in the trial.
Okay, thank you. That was a great response, and we'll see, and you will see in the future in Agatenta. This rules came into act as acts in a century ago, and we'll see what happens in the next century. Okay, thank you all, and no, can you please all step out of the stage? That way, then we'll call you back next for the judges. We'll give you some moment for the judges to discuss and score you all. I would call upon next Nama NKK president to come onto the stage and welcome the committee members. Harsha, please.
Thank you, Sandeep. We ran over, so I'm going to just take a few minutes to introduce the new team and
No, Pratap.
thank some of the
How are you?
people who organized the event.
Yeah, I'm on call with the group.
ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ.
Anup had to leave,
Yeah,
but if he has to leave, he can leave.
he did leave.
He did leave. Okay, did
Yeah.
he give his comments back or
Yeah,
anything?
he did. He did.
Can you read out his comments?
Sandeep, I'm sorry. Srinivas, can you cut off the mic? ನಮಸ್ಕಾರ ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ. Good evening and thank you for attending the event. The youth committee activities are dear to all the Kuta families, and we really like and support all the activities organized by the youth committee directors. Sandeep and Sudarshan have done a amazing job with the youth activities, and they have graciously accepted to continue on the new board. I hope the kids take the feedback from all the judges positively and improve their communication skills. I really like the new format this time with both teams, in-person debate, and also I was sitting here next to them, and it was really nice seeing how they were the teams were discussing all the questions and preparing for the rebuttals and all that.
Um, we have a new committee for 2024 and 2025. So I'd like to take a few seconds to introduce the new committee. So Srinivas, could you please bring up the presentation? Thanks, Srinivas. So first of all, I would like to introduce the Board of Trustees, Usha Kullur Bhatt, Sapna Patil, Sudhakar Somanari, and myself, Harsha Lakshmikanta. As being the current president, I'm also on the Board of Trustees. Next slide, please. I'd also like to introduce Vinay Rao, who is the vice president, and he's doing a fantastic job, and he's assuming more responsibilities and helping out all the other committees, come up to speed. Next slide, please. We have new members to the committee. Prabhasa Kalkur, who's the secretary, and Shashi Bhushan Raju, who's the joint secretary. Prabhasa has been helping out tremendously with all our communications, and I welcome the two members, Prabhasa and Shashi Bhushan, to the committee. Next slide, please. The new treasurers are Sachin Upadhyaya and Shweta Shivanna. They have taken over the responsibility of the finances, and we welcome them. They're also new to the committee. Next slide. As you already know, the youth committee directors, Sandeep and Sudarshan, as I mentioned earlier, they've accepted to continue for 2 more years in this committee. The next event they have organized is volunteering at Mitzvah Circle. That will be after the Yugadi event. Next slide, please. And we have Srinivas Osmane, who has been on the committee for a long time. And thank you, Srinivas, for supporting on the YouTube and Zoom, for the youth debate. And we have the new member, Raghu Gargeya, who is on the photography committee. He has started helping us actually from the end of last year. Welcome, Raghu. And Chandra Murthy or Chandrasekhar Murthy is our website committee director. He's been handling our website from a long time. Thank you. And on the decorations committee, we have two members, Supriya Upadhyaya, who was handling the decorations committee for the past couple of years. And we have a new member, Shubha Benur, who's joined the decorations committee. And welcome, Shubha. And also Shubha's husband, Deepak, is helping with the food committee, even though he is not on the board. Next slide, please. On the food committee, we have two directors, Rajeshwari Desai and Anupama Joshi. They are preparing for the upcoming Yugadi event, and not only on the food, they are helping us with the food committee responsibilities. They're also helping us to get a lot of vendors to sponsor for our events. Thank you, Rajeshwari and Anu. Next slide, please. Srinivas, I think you skipped over a slide. Yeah, on the welcome committee, we have Aruna. She has been attending our NKK events for a long time, and this is the first time she's joined the committee, and she's on the welcome committee, and I welcome her to the welcome committee. Can you go to the next slide, please? On the cultural committee, we have 4 directors this time. We have Deepak Koradi, who's the director, and we have Aparna Manjunath, Shweta Harish, and Rashmi Pandurangi on the committee. Each of them are very talented, and I welcome them to the committee, and we can expect a lot of good work from them. Next slide, please. On the facilities committees, we have Praveen Kumar and Harish KV, and they are also new to the Navodaya committee, and I welcome them. Thank you. On the hobbies committee, we have Sahana Rao and Venkat Bengaluru. They are also new to the committee, and they're they have enthusiastically joined the committee, and they have a lot of experience in trekking, and hopefully we'll have a lot of fun when the weather improves during the summer. Next slide, please. Our next event is Yugadi. It's on April 20th, and we're going to send out the communication pretty soon. And please register to the event as soon as possible, which will help the food committee, cultural committee, and the facilities and all other committees to prepare well for the event. Thank you, Srinivas. Sandeep will be giving a vote of thanks after this, but I would like to quickly thank Shruti and Jairam and
Yes. No. Stay here. Stay here. No, yes. So Sudarshan join us, yeah. So yes, Harsha, thank you. And this time we did a hybrid, which means the youths alla one kade idru and the judges were virtual, and seeing the youths interact and compete with one another in such a jovial manner was really fun to watch. And this all happened because of the kind and welcoming heart of Jairam and Shruti. I would like to request them to come up here to the stage, please, for without whom this wouldn't have been possible. They took all the trouble of entertaining us to setting it up, and thank you so much.
Thank you.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you, guys. Another one there, Edward? Yeah.
No, it was our real pleasure welcoming all this, especially the kids. We always want the kids to grow up. That's why we have come here, leaving all the things at home, back home. So seeing the kids growing up, especially most of the kids here, at least, we have seen them since like 2 or 3 years old. So it's nice to see these people, and having in our house was a real pleasure. Thank you.
I'll hand it over to Sandeep to do the vote of thanks.
Thank you. Before we go to the judges' feedback and questions, we just want to do a quick round of the thanks. First of all, I want to thank all the youths for participating in this youth event. Secondly, the judges, the amount of work that takes on to sort of critically review each youth and give a feedback and be committed to it, not just once and again and again. We are forever grateful to you all, and thanks once again. I want to thank Srinivas and Varun Jairam and Prabhas for all the technical assistance. This wouldn't have happened. This again was possible because of the help from Varun Jairam, one of our youth members, in making this possible. and I'm just blanking out, but thanks to us too as well. Thanks, Sudarshan,
Yeah.
and
Thanks to the youth.
thank you to all the youths. And I will now call all the youths to come up. Yeah, you can come along. Akkade in the ban. And we will now bring on the judges so that they can give the feedback. I think Anup had a conflict because he had to step out to go to another meeting that he couldn't avoid just now. But he has provided his feedback. No, Aramagnit Kudi, yeah. Sudarshan, you have some feedback from Anup to give as well, right? So we will first start off with Rashmi, and then Sudarshan will give Anup's feedback. Yeah.
Yeah, sure. I can definitely get started. So I was aiming to give feedback for the opening speakers, so Sachita and Gari. So I'll start off with Sachita. I thought that you had really great delivery, diction, pace of speech. So I thought all of that was really well done. I liked the way that you had organized the opening argument. I think there could have been maybe like some improvements in terms of the transitions for describing some of the rationales on alternatives to animal testing, and then also maybe even considering including other pieces like outside of biomedical research, like commercial reasons or consumer products. So I think that might be something that I would consider as like an area of opportunity or improvement. And then for Gari, I really also liked the way that you flagged the example of COVID-19. I feel like that was a theme that was used throughout the entire debate for both of the teams. I think kind of similarly to Sachita, like thinking about other examples outside of biomedical research, just to create more of like a comprehensive opening argument would have been great. I think also even thinking about pieces like the regulation of the animal testing space could also be helpful in terms of like anticipating some of the arguments you might get from that ruling team. Because I think there was also a lot that was said around the ethical and kind of moral components of animal testing. So that I think could be something to think about as well, kind of anticipating some of those arguments. And I think for both of you, maybe even considering like how the opening argument could be a thesis for what all of the other speakers are going to present on or prepare on as well could be great. I know it's difficult in a setting like this where a lot of the prep time, so to speak, is done very in terms of like very limited time. So I think that might be something to think about as you're enhancing what these arguments would look like down the future.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to be providing feedback for Varun Jairam and Varun Bhatt. This is the feedback from Anup, one of the judges. He had to go because of other commitments. So first, Varun Jairam, overall you did very well prepared speech. Only one comment that he highlighted was being able to speak into the mic without looking at the notes.
Yeah.
Like, that's one thing that he pointed out. Probably with a little more time for preparation, you would have been able to do it, but the short duration, like, it's difficult. He understands that.
Yeah.
That's the comment that he made here.
Mhm.
And Varun Bhatt, for you, overall, very good. But he pointed out that he noticed some hesitations in your speech. Maybe more rehearsal would have helped. So that's something that you may want to pay attention to in the future.
Okay.
Yeah. Very good job, both of you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Next, Pratap, if Pratap is able to provide the feedback.
Yeah, one small clarification, Sandeep. My individual feedback is on
4 and speaker number 4 and speaker number 6. Speaker number 4 was
Arnav.
Arnav Sadashiv and Karun Jaira.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thanks. Congratulations for to each one of you. Kudos to the excellent effort, and I think each of your eloquence, sharp argument, and your ability to think on the feet really come out well. Really, thanks. Great to see that, and it's demonstrated in a remarkable way of articulating and also coming back on a persuasively and very effectively. I would also especially thank NKK for providing this opportunity and platform, both to youth as well as to us to see it, and also a deepest gratitude to the organizing team. I think our effort is nothing compared to the kind of effort and dedication that you put in. Coming back to the individual feedback, I think on Arnav, I think it was an excellent speech. I think what I really liked was the kind of starting as well as the Indian reference that you brought together with the story of Jatayu. I think that was really excellent. That was a good point, as well as I think it's a good combination of both that had a very strong beginning, and even during the course of argumentation, which we see is the excellent and respectful rebuttal with the exact references and with the data point. That was really excellent. And I think I think that's a strong part. And also the other thing which I also observed was you are also very active when the question comes back and also articulating it back. That was also a very great point which I observed during the overall debate. That's overall it's an excellent effort, and congratulations on that front, Arnav. And on Karun, excellent presentation. The rebuttal with the previous speakers was also, I think you come with the factual figures of the previous argument. That was a real good point, which the strong point which I observed. And I completely understand the logistical challenges in general. I think it across some of the during the delivery, it's also you could also most of you may have really made the eye contact, but for when we are sitting virtually, it sometimes looks different. So I think that's a generic point. I think not specific to anyone, but I think that's also a point which I was thinking through. Otherwise, it was an excellent effort of from each of you and all of your prep. Also, I think it was really interesting and exciting for me to look up when the questions came up. You guys are huddling up together and discussing and coming back. That was really excellent. I'm sure the room was very heated up there. Overall, very excellent effort, and thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Next, Bhiman ಅವರೇ ನೀವು feedback ಕೊಟ್ರೆ about both the teams about the question and answer session.
The key point in all the debates, as you all know, to be respectful for each other's opinion and our own opinion. And it's very impressive that you all excelled in that part. Please do keep up in the future debates also. I can see, even though it was given, I think the topic was given very recently, you really prepared well and you had good data. Only on the AI front, I would say maybe you may have to give some examples, because it's very easy to say AI, because here we are dealing with the animal experiments and its relationship to the human diseases or human wellness. So that aspect, how the AI really can bridge, or how the AI can help. So I think it will be easier if you give some examples in this kind of presentations. Overall, it's an excellent debate and you all prepared well. Please keep it up. And one last note, as I used to tell before also, each one of you try to participate in the school debates. If you don't, try to lead the debate team. If there is no debate team in your specific class or school, try to start one and talk to the teachers. So that will help you in the long way. Okay, all the best.
Thank you.
Excellent point, Bhiman ಅವರೇ. Like how there is this National School Debate Association ಅಂತ they conduct all around the year. So correct. Like if anybody from the audience, any elementary school, middle school, high school, you don't have to wait till high school. You can participate in debate competitions nationally, state level, within the schools, right from middle school. And there are different formats. Parliamentary high school debates is an excellent forum as well. There are debate clubs that you can form, lead, and that's all great skills. And when you go to undergraduate programs, there are debate clubs alumni. So there is a lot of summer clubs that you can do for debate, and it's not just for a particular interest of your topic. It is like for your global development. So yeah, Bhimanar always supports STEM advancement in kids, and debate is one of those as well. You need it in all fields, whether you go to political science, medicine, engineering, any field. So yeah, and we finally will move to Vinay, who will give feedback to the final two speakers.
Hi guys. First, let me start by thanking the youth committee. What a fantastic job they do ಅಲ್ಲ. ಎಷ್ಟು ಕಷ್ಟ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಈ ತರ ಎಲ್ಲ ಇದು ಆರ್ಗನೈಸ್ ಮಾಡಕ್ಕೆ ಅಂದ್ರೆ topic they have to choose the topic, they have to put this Excel sheet for all the judges, have all these meetings with the youth committee, and have all this discussions with the judges, find judges and explain to them how the Excel sheets work, how the scoring works and all that stuff. I'm really proud for Sandeep and Sudarshan being a part of this and taking care of this kind of debates. Let's all give a big round of applause for them first. Second thing is that ನಮ್ಮ ಕನ್ನಡಕೂಟ ಈ ಸತಿ ಎಂತೋ ಫೌಂಡೇಶನ್ ಸೆಟಪ್ ಮಾಡಿದೆ ಯೂತ್ಗೆ ಅಂತ ನೀವೇ ನೋಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ. Also for the first time our Kannadakuta has signed up for presidential awards. So all of this and any volunteer things that they're going to do, youth committee is going to do, will all help our youth get presidential certificates for volunteers signed by President Biden, Trump, whoever is your favorite, doesn't matter, but there will be a gold seal or whatever. So all those volunteer awards starting from now on will be tracked. So outside of NKK, inside of NKK, all those will be tracked. So please get your youth signed up, get them to debate like this, and volunteers volunteer hours accumulate ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳಕ್ಕೆ try ಮಾಡಿ ಆದಷ್ಟುನು. Get the golden certificates and or silver certificates or whatever. It'll help them set up well for their future. Then I just want to move on to the kids. All the participants. Hey guys, you guys all did fantastic. First of all, I'm really proud that this is our future. I was not given this kind of a stage. You guys have used this kind of stage well, and it's very evident when I argue at home, I always fail. So basically you guys are set up well. This is a nice foundation. Thanks for participating. I would love to see a lot more youth participating. You guys will be the future of our country. So fantastic job. What confidence you guys have, and how good you delivered and how good you prepared. And I saw the teamwork between all of you guys. When somebody asked a question, you guys all huddled and talked together, came back with a consensus, and somebody delivered what was discussed in the team. So let's just give a round of applause on your participation, first of all. So as to the specific speaker 7 and speaker 8, speaker 7 was Pratyusha. Very good, confident speaking. You connected with the audience. You looked us in the eyes, and you delivered your speech. You used your Kannada really well, and you connected with everybody, and you used good references to India, and you had a good demeanor. A bit more confident delivery will probably earn you a little bit better points. Probably a little bit stronger reference to India, which is not your fault because your team has to work together on finding more references to India. So that would have gotten you really high points. But overall, fantastic job. So please keep it up and participate in more debates, and you'll do well. Gautam, you spoke confidently. Good reference to India. You spoke Kannada really well. Your Kannada classes are helping. So you can probably go and go to Bangalore and order an auto rickshaw or driver or whatever, and you'll do well. You delivered your speech fluently. It was organized well. The evidence was presented well. Your arguments and refutation was really well delivered. um, I would say as to one area of improvement, you spoke very fast. You could probably slow it down and use some actions. Occasionally look audience in the eyes, connect with them. That could get you a perfect score if you do some of those things. But all of you guys did a fantastic job. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
One suggestion, okay? Sandeep,
Hey,
okay. For all of you, see, you have put significant effort in preparing these topics. This is a very important topic. It comes up very often. Just like speaking, see, writing also is very important in the near future. So try to transform whatever the research you have done on these topics into creative essays, and Google where you can submit those essays for competitions. So you will find opportunities because these two topics are favorite for many competitions. So please do.
Thank you.
Sandeep, ನಂದು ಒಂದು last ಇದು.
Yeah, ಹೇಳಿ. Yeah.
What a fantastic job Srinivas Usmani does with these things, right? Starting with like the countdown and no interruptions with the YouTube and all that stuff, presenting the right screens. I'm so glad he is with us. I couldn't have done this so effortlessly like he does. Fantastic job, Srinivas.
Yeah, Vinay, you took away that was going to be my comment Iga, before Rashmi comes on, to thank Srinivas for this whole program. And Isati, it was even more challenging because he had to deal with all the youths together in one place and doing it in a hybrid format. So he's been instrumental in all these years Namge to make debate happen. And we wouldn't have been able to do any of these in all these years without the support from Srinivas. Yeah. Thanks once again, Srinivas.
You know, Sandeep, actually, whatever I'm doing is exactly same what I did before. But all the kudos goes to that guy there, Varun.
Yes, exactly.
Varun is the brain
Varun,
behind this
do you want to
setup.
step forward, our tech support, tech lead,
Yes,
tech champion
he is
here?
the genius. He is the
Yes.
genius.
Yes.
Good job.
We will not keep the youths anymore waiting because they are all eager to know. And Rashmi, please do the honors.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think definitely echoing a lot of the same sentiments that have been expressed. So I think both teams did such an excellent effort in preparing for these topics, especially the fact that this was a totally different style of debate that I think all of you embraced with open arms and did such a wonderful job. So I think in terms of the winner, this goes to, it was very close, I will say. I think we were very much like, okay, it could really go either way. But I think towards the end of it, the winner is the opposition party. So those that are opposing the ban on animal testing. So wonderful job. Congratulations to that team. And I think honestly, though, both teams really put forth some outstanding effort in this process. So congrats to you both. And hopefully now you get to enjoy some pizza.
Yes. This is a participation here. And pass this to the winner. No. Really? Yes.
No, no.
Yes. It is. Okay, thank you all judges and Srinivas and all the audience who are there live, and also to the audience who will go back and check it once it really, no. Thank you all to the judges and Srinivas, and also to the audience who participated in this live, and also to all the audience who will go back and check it on and look through this once it's posted. Thank you. We'll call it a day. Thank you once again.